What? Ah, there we are. Am I streaming? Yes, apparently I am. So we're just going to go with it. Yay! So, welcome to the Everything podcast, and in this live stream, I am going but before I do that, I'm going to be, if the title doesn't give it away enough, I'm going to be reviewing the yes, I'm not showing up. I assume it's gone live. Let's just check because it tells me if I have. I just need to make sure, which I am. Yay! There we go. Yes, let's just see how everything's looking. Don't go why I'm not showing now. Yes, it's all working, which is good news. But yes, in this live stream, I'm going to be reviewing the first two episodes of Doctor Who, season one, titled "Space Babies and the Devil's Chord." Now, spoiler warning. Now, this live stream will obviously contain spoilers. So without there's that out of the way. Um, but yes, we're going to get on with it. So we're going to start off obviously with episode one, which is titled Space Babies. So yes, I don't. Yes, it stars the Doctor, played by Shooty Gatwa, Ruby Sunday, who is played by Millie Gibson, Jocelyn Sankiara, played by Golda Rushavel, Carla Sunday, played by Michelle Greenidge, Cherry Sunday, played by Angela Winter, Eric, played by Macon McCluskey. The voice of Eric is Sammy Amber. Poppy is played by Sienna Robin Mavanga Phillips. The voice of Poppy is Shola Atian Albigi. The voice of Sandra is Cadence Williams. The voice of Marcel is Param Patel. The voice of Johnny is Lonia Archibong. Rico Trieste is played by Jesus Reyes Ortiz. Lucia Crisanto is played by Yasmin Buldeed, and Bogeyman is played by Robert Strange. Space Babies is written by Rusty Davis and directed by Julianne Robinson. So before we get into full on spoilers, here are my opinion on this episode. I love the scenes with the Doctor and Ruby with the babies. I enjoyed seeing the babies save the Doctor and Ruby. I liked Carla and Cherry's reaction to the TARDIS crash landing in their flats. Without further ado, here is my review. Well, we'll just see, just to check that everything's how it's meant to be. I'm still annoyed as why it's not working, but there we go. Yeah, so if I do that, does that happen? No, it doesn't. Right. Webcam. Right. Okay, let's try the other one then. Oh geez, that's not good. Let's go back to the other one. Ah, there we are. There's me again. Oh yeah. There we are. So you can see my face there. So without further ado, here is my review. That's not what I want. Bear with me a second. There we are. Here is my review of Space Babies. We have the title sequence, and the Doctor introduces himself to Ruby. The Doctor tells Ruby why the TARDIS looks like a 1960s police box. Ruby gets the Doctor to open up about his adopted home planet Gallifrey no longer existing. The Doctor tells Ruby he is the last of the Time Lords. The Doctor takes Ruby to 150 million years in the past. They encounter dinosaurs. The Doctor mocks Ruby's suggestion of stepping on a butterfly change history. Ruby steps on a butterfly and turns into a reptile-looking creature. The the Doctor rescues the butterfly, turning reptile Ruby back into human Ruby. The Doctor and Ruby land on a space station in the year 21,506. The Doctor and Ruby meet and run away from the Bogeyman. The Doctor and Ruby realise that they are on a baby farm. The Doctor references his and Ruby's previous adventure as shown in the 2023 Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road. The Doctor is offended when Ruby suggests that the babies are used for food. The Doctor and Ruby have landed on the planet Pacifico del Rio. The Doctor shows Ruby the TARDIS's translation circuit in action. The Doctor boosts the signal on Ruby's phone. Ruby calls Carla. The calls Carla. The Doctor and Ruby encounter a talking baby. The baby believes that the Doctor and Ruby are their parents. The Doctor and Ruby meet all the space babies. Poppy tells the Doctor and Ruby about the day their parents abandoned them. The Doctor and Ruby tell Poppy that they are not her parents. Ruby introduces herself and the Doctor to Eric. Poppy tells the Doctor that she has never been hugged. The Doctor informs the babies about the crew members of the space station abandoning them. The Doctor reassures Poppy. The Doctor tells Poppy about his parents abandoning him. The Doctor and Ruby meet Nanny. The space babies simultaneously blow their noses. The space babies cry when the Doctor mentions the bogeyman. Ruby apologizes to the space babies. The Doctor talks to Nanny through a headset. The Doctor and Ruby follow Nanny's instructions. The Doctor remembers encountering Ruby's birth mother in the church on Ruby Road. The Doctor and Ruby meet Nanny in real life. Nanny shows the Doctor and Ruby videos of the crew members signing out of the space station. Nanny tells the Doctor her real name, which is Jocelyn, as I talked about when I went through the cast list. The Doctor attaches his Sonic to a machine to help fix the space station. Jocelyn tells the Doctor and Ruby the real reason she doesn't spend time with the babies face to face. Jocelyn tells the Doctor and Ruby about a refugee planet. The Doctor and Ruby are surprised when Jocelyn reveals she doesn't know what the bogeyman is. Eric stands up to the bogeyman against the Doctor, Ruby, and Jocelyn's advice. The Doctor and Ruby attempt to distract the bogeyman from attacking Eric. The Doctor and Ruby find Eric alive and well. The Doctor, Ruby, and Eric are being chased by the bogeyman. The other space babies save the Doctor, Ruby, and Eric. The space babies return to their room. The Doctor tries to convince Ruby to go back with the space babies. This isn't successful. Jocelyn tells the Doctor and Ruby about the origins of the bogeyman. Jocelyn guides the Doctor and Ruby to a machine to discover what the bogeyman is made out of. Ruby gets covered in goo. The Doctor tells Ruby that the bogeyman is made out of snot, so Ruby is not covered in just goo, it is actually snot. The Doctor laughs at Ruby being covered in snot. Jocelyn uh, plans on killing the bogeyman. The Doctor and Ruby hatch a plan to stop Jocelyn. The Doctor realizes that the bogeyman is the last of its kind. The Doctor saves the bogeyman. Ruby stops Jocelyn. Uh, Ruby comforts Jocelyn. Jocelyn apologizes to the space babies. The Doctor shows the space babies that the bogeyman is still alive. The Doctor gives Ruby a TARDIS key. The Doctor tells Ruby that he can never take her to the day she was abandoned by her birth mother. The TARDIS crash lands into Ruby's flat. The Doctor and Ruby reunite with Carla and Cherry, and the episode finishes off with the Devil's Call trailer, which I will not be talking about because I'll be reviewing that very soon. But before we get on to the Devil's Call, just to see if there's anything I need to see. No, so no comments or any. Well, no comments. There's nothing else as of yet. Because I haven't reached the watch time necessary, so you can't join, or which you may have seen in other channels, or super thanks or super chats. Super thanks is for videos, super chats is for what's the word? live streams. That's the word, what I'm doing right now. But without further ado, it's now time for me to speak about The Devil's Chord. So, starring in The Devil's Chord, we have the Doctor, played by Shooty Gatwa, Ruby Sunday, played by Millie Gibson, Maestro, played by Jinx Monsoon, Timothy Jake, played by Jeremy Lim, Henry, played by Kit Rakusen, T. Trolley Lady, played by Shireen Cara Anderson, George Martin, played by Ed White, Paul McCartney, played by George Capel, John Lennon, played by Chris Mason, George Harrison, played by Philip Davies, even Ringo Starr, played by um, James Hoyles, studio producer, played by Chan Stoker, Cilla Black, played by Josie Sedgwick Davies again, the Tea Lady, played by Susan Twist, Vinny, played by Simon Jason Smith, the elderly woman, played by uh, Laura Joan Hudson. We then have Murray Gold, Shirley Ballas, and Johannes Radaby all playing themselves. The writer of The Devil's Chord is Russell T Davis. The Devil's Chord is directed by Ben Chesler. My opinion on The Devil's Chord is I loved the song at the end. I enjoyed Jinx Monsoon as Maestro, and I liked that it was the Beatles that saved the world. So here's my review, my spoiler review. Again, spoiler alert and spoiler warning. Here is my review for The Devil's Chord. In 1925, a music lesson takes place. Maestro introduces themselves. The child taking part in the music lesson is the son of Maestro. Maestro refers to Timothy Drake as a genius. Maestro plays the Doctor Who theme song. We then have the title sequence. Ruby asks the Doctor if they can go and meet the Beatles whilst they're recording their first album. The Doctor agrees with Ruby. The Doctor and Ruby change into 1960s clothes. The Doctor and Ruby arrive in 1963, where the Beatles, while even the Beatles are recording their first album, the Doctor and Ruby sneak their way into meeting the Beatles. The Doctor and Ruby see the Beatles and Cilla Black perform. Uh, the Doctor and Ruby also see an orchestra perform badly. The Doctor and Ruby discover that history is changing. Ruby questions John Lennon. The Doctor questions Paul McCartney. Maestro appears in Reflections. The Doctor reflections. Yes, the Doctor and Ruby discuss the ramifications of no music. The Doctor references himself as the first Doctor as well as his granddaughter Susan. Ruby plays the piano and accidentally summons Maestro. The Doctor and Ruby run away from Maestro. Maestro introduces themselves to the Doctor and Ruby. The Doctor uses his sonic to distract Maestro. Maestro kills an elderly woman. The Doctor explains who the toy maker is to Ruby. Ruby tries to reassure the Doctor. The Doctor and Ruby find out what Earth would look like if Maestro wins. The Doctor consoles Ruby. The Doctor and Ruby come face to face with Maestro for the first time. The Doctor introduces himself to Maestro. Maestro reveals that they are a child of the toy maker. Maestro sings. Maestro wants music without singers. Maestro references this episode's opening scene. Maestro gains control of the TARDIS. The Doctor apologizes to the TARDIS. The Doctor regains control of the TARDIS. Maestro catches Ruby. Maestro gets the best of the Doctor. Maestro intimidates the Doctor. Uh, Ruby seems to be defeating Maestro. Maestro references one of their siblings. Maestro challenges the Doctor to a music battle. The Doctor nearly defeats Maestro. Maestro captures the Doctor and Ruby. The Beatles save the world as well as the Doctor and Ruby. Maestro is banished. Maestro warns Doctor that the one who waits is almost here, which goes back to the giggle, the third and final 60th anniversary special for Doctor Who, where the Toymaker also mentions about the one who waits. Music has returned, and the Doctor and Ruby sing and dance, and the episode finishes off with the boob trailer, which I will be talking about very soon. But let's just check if there's any comments or anything that I need to be aware of, which there doesn't seem to be. So next up, I will be doing a preview for the next episode of Doctor Who to be released, which is Boom, which releases. I'm not going to talk about that. So here is my preview for Doctor Who Season 1, Episode 3, titled Boom. Boom releases on the 18th of May at 12 a.m. GMT. It stars the Doctor, played by Ncuti Gatwa, Ruby Sunday, played by Millie Gibson, John Francis Vatter, played by Joe Anderson, Carson, played by Majid Mandizara Vajirdi, Carson, no, no, I've done that. Splice, Alison Vater, played by Colin Springwell. Canterbury James Oliphant, played by Bath Joshi, and Ambulance, played by Susan Twist. Boom is written by Stephen Moffat and directed by Julianne Robinson. It takes place on a alien battlefield. We have a quote from Boom where Ruby says, "Where are we?" The Doctor says, "In the middle of a war." Ruby says, "I was kind of hoping for a beach." Doctor says, "What do you call this?" Ruby replies, "Not a beach." Doctor says, "Give it time. Everywhere's a beach eventually." This episode's villain is currently unknown. It may be revealed um, before the episode broadcasts. Or there might not be a villain at all, which is possible. And here is my breakdown for the trailer for Boom, released at the end of The Devil's Chord. The Doctor and Ruby try to figure out where they are. The Doctor runs towards something. The Doctor steps on a landmine. Ruby seems concerned. The Doctor and Ruby cry. The landmine turns from green to red. The Doctor screams, and Ruby shouts for the Doctor. That is my preview of the third episode of season 1 of Doctor Who, titled Boom, and that's actually it for this live stream. So there hasn't been any comments unless I've missed them, which I don't think I have. No. So let me know what you thought about those episodes in the comments below. Uh, or my if you watched them, my reviews if you didn't. And remember, you can also put any TV show or movie suggestions in the comments below. You can also like, comment, and subscribe. And that's it for this live stream for the Everything Podcast.